What's going on, people? Welcome back to the player ratings. Defeat to Tottenham, 1-0 defeat at their ground. We're going to discuss all the individual performances from the game. As always, we want to hear from you, so leave down your ratings in the comment section down below. Joined by AJ here for the ratings. I'll be honest, there wasn't that much to talk about, AJ, in terms of the game, but look, we can talk about some of these individual performances that led to that disappointing performance, in my opinion. And let's start off with the goalkeeper. Of course, today we did concede a goal. Johnston, 7 from both of us. He made a very good save in the second half. If it wasn't for him, then it ends 2-0, clear 2-0. When Son went past him and it went down to the ground. For the goal that we conceded, he didn't have much to do. I don't think it was his fault. It's another player's fault that we're going to be talking about in just a second. What do you make of Johnston's performance?
Relatively solid performance. Maybe could have commanded the box a little bit better for the goal. I can't really blame him for that. Yes, the save against Son was brilliant. I actually thought he was going to concede, but in all fairness, relatively solid game, 7 out of 10. Nothing outstanding, but not a terrible game. I was relatively quite happy with what Johnston's performing. Solid.
If it wasn't for his second half save, I'll probably drop down his rating to 6.5 to 6 because I wanted to be a bit more commanding in the box, but that's a conversation for another day. I have noticed that over the last 2 games, West Ham game and this game, he can be a bit more of a presence in the box than he is right now. That's how I'm feeling. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Let's move on to the right back, Joe Ward. 5 from you, 5.5 from me. And I think it's clear. It's from the error. I mean, he jumped for the ball, the goal that we conceded. He jumped for the ball, but he jumped like a minute too early. I don't know why he was jumping or a minute too late. I can't remember. But yeah, I remember he was up in the air, I think, by the time, I think it was early. And he just mistimed the ball and we conceded from that. But apart from that, I thought he had a relatively good start to the game.
Disagree. I think he was pretty terrible, to be honest with you. I think he was outpaced. I felt he was beaten. The way that the wing-backs picked on our full-backs today kind of showed that in the goal that we conceded. He just wasn't aware. And a player at that level, at that age, needs to be aware of what's going on around him. Otherwise, when are you going to learn and when are you going to pick that up? Joe Ward, actually, over the last couple of games has been pretty solid for me, but he was terrible today. That's what I've got to really say on it. I wasn't impressed with what I saw.
I didn't think it was terrible, but interesting. Let us know what you guys think. Do you guys think that Joe Wood performed that bad? For my reason for my rating was that goal that we conceded. Apart from that, I can't remember him being that bad. But yeah, fair enough. That's why we do these ratings. We're not meant to agree with each other every single time. 8 from you for Anderson, 7.5 from me. 8 seems a bit high. I mean, he had a very good game, I guess, defensively.
I'll tell you why. Now, defensively, he was relatively quite solid as usual. Him and Gay pretty much 7 and 8s every week. I think he was great when he was trying to distribute the ball. It was just a shame that when it kind of got to the final third of our end, nothing was really going on up there. But I will put that down to Tottenham's isolation. The reason he got the 8 out of me was the fact that he technically was our most attacking threat today. Like, in terms of the set pieces and the corners, he either nearly created or he nearly scored a couple of times, to be fair. So it's the attacking element and his set plays going forward, which is the reason why I gave him the 8.
Yeah, and it probably shows how bad the ratings are for the attackers. If our defender is getting an 8 for an attacking for attacking on the other side of the pitch rather than doing his job, then it sums up our game. Let's be honest. It sums up our game, how it went today. Gahey, he wasn't as attacking for you, 6. And for me, it was 7. For me, there wasn't much of a difference between Gahey and Anderson's performance defensively, in honesty. Gahey, in terms of his stats, he had 3 out of 3 ground duels, 1 out of 2 aerial duels, 1. To be fair, we didn't have much to do defensively. They just had that one moment. I think it was Joe Wood's fault, and we conceded from it.
Same. I think it was just a bang average performance, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful element towards Mark Gay. I thought he was really relatively decent. That's why I gave him a 6. I think I almost kind of look at it from a standard kind of side of things. So I think every player would start a game on a 6 roughly, and then obviously depending up and down. He didn't have to do much. Obviously, we did concede a goal, but that wasn't to his fault or to his detriment. I've got to admit, man, we're lucky to have a player like Mark Gay, man. I think we've unearthed a gem there. And I absolutely love him being a Palace fan and being a Palace player. And hopefully we shall see a couple more years out of him before we sell him on for record-breaking profits.
Exactly. Well, today the club that are after him, they watch that performance. Let's see. Probably offer about £40 million based on that.
Nah.
I mean, that's what they're like doing. Yeah, nowhere near £40 million, but you know how Tottenham are. They're not gonna get him, bro. I just don't see it happening. Tyreek Mitchell, look, was he also at fault for the goal? Because the cross did come into the box and it came from his side. And we both gave him a 7 because I thought he had a relatively solid game defensively and also going forward. He was a bit involved in that aspect as well. But for you, could you have done a bit better to even prevent that ball going into the box?
100%. I think that both fullbacks were getting caught out left, right, and centre. The reason why Mitchell got a high rating than Ward, and this is not me picking on Ward or anything in particular, I felt coming forward, Mitchell was really, really good. And I've mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. I feel that his attacking side of the game and his relatively solid part in the defensive side of things is improving week in, week out. I still do want to see a bit more competitiveness in terms of what we get going into next season. Maybe a player pushing him for his place in the squad. But over the past couple of weeks in today's game, I thought he was relatively solid coming forward. And I feel like he's looking a little bit more confident in terms of handling not just pressure coming in from the right attacking side of things, but different types of players and different types of attacks coming forward as well. I felt in certain games earlier on in the season and definitely last season, he was getting exposed a bit. But I feel like this season he's maturing and kind of learning how to handle different elements of pressure. That doesn't mean that he doesn't escape the element of that goal, because there was, I would actually argue that both fullbacks were quite poor in terms of that build up to that goal. But in terms of how I feel about the Mitchell performance, I felt the fact that he came and attacked coming forward kind of saved him from getting a low rating from me.
Doucouré in midfield, I thought he was very solid today. I'll be honest. 7 from you, 7.5 from me. I thought he was up there with Anderson in terms of performance. I feel both of them were our best players today, and he done relatively well. The reason why the defense didn't have much to do because Doucouré was in front of them. Once again, I truly believe that. He had a few times where he was at the right place at the right time, and he had 2 interceptions as well, 2 clearances, 1 block shot. 1 3 out of 4 ground duels, 1 out of 4 aerial duels. I don't expect him to be good in there, but he's relatively solid. He didn't have that many touches, only 45, which is kind of surprising in 90 minutes. But it pretty much sums up our game. He was solid, but he wasn't involved as much in terms of going forward.
Agreed. I mean, there was one chance where he had when he was on the edge of the box, and I think he dummied Son, and he didn't really make the most of it. I think that was one of our only shots on target, to be honest. But I'd like to see a little bit of his game in terms of, because I know he's capable. I've seen it in the highlights before we signed him. I know he's capable of rockets outside of the box. So I would like to see a little bit more confidence in terms of that. Maybe with it being his first Premier League season, he's just kind of growing into it and building into it. I mean, he's kind of reined in with the bookings elements of things. He's not doing anything reckless. He's just solid. He sits in front of our defensive line and he saves and gets rid of a lot of rubbish that comes our way. Yeah, very, very good performance. Defended our defensive line really, really well. Considering the talent that Tottenham do have in that midfield in comparison to us, locked him out again. Relatively quite happy with that performance.
Yeah. Schlupp, all I have to say is quiet. 6. You want to add anything? You're just quiet.
Bambi on ice, man. Fell over himself, tried to get a free kick. He's kind of fading back into that Schlupp that I don't like. He didn't do anything apart from that, to be fair. He just had a bang average game.
He only had like 30 touches in 74 minutes. I mean, he only had 18 passes. 90% of them were accurate. Quiet game in midfield. Ebbs, he's been one of our star players, but we both gave him 6 today. We just didn't see. We just in attack. He was just quiet. It was just dull. It was not just Ebbs, but just saying like in general, he just wasn't a great game. That's all I can say. Eze wasn't involved as much. He was good defensively, but you don't put Ebbs there for defensive duties.
Same kind of thing. I think with him and Elise now, I think teams are kind of quickly realised that even minus Will, to be fair, at that equation, that they are large threats in the team. And what you're finding with Eze is he's getting doubled up on a lot. However, he's not shied away from it. He is still digging into tackles. He's still trying to make things happen. I just feel like this was just one of those games where he couldn't really get it off as he normally did. He was still trying. He was still working hard. He was still trying to create stuff, but bad day at the office for him.
Yeah, agree. Elise, I thought he was getting bullied today. Not that it was his fault, but just not him. Other players as well. You gave me 6. I gave him 6.5. I wouldn't say it was a bad day in office, but the referee didn't help the situation with Elise. I think he's one of those players that got impacted massively by the referee because Ben Davies, it took so long for the ref to actually book Ben Davies where he was getting away with just pushing Elise, grabbing him, and that happened pretty much the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, the referee element, I'm going to bench that just for 1 second. Elise will have to get smarter and more creative, and also he'll need to get a bit stronger lasting in the Premier League because he will have that more week in, week out. And now that they know how dangerous he is, if you look at, I mean, it's a horrible example to an extent, but if you look at early stages, Ronaldo, when he first went to United and he came on, he was just doing a bag of step overs, putting things in the box and trying to make things happen. The output weren't great. As soon as he sort of bulked himself out a bit and then got a little bit more creative and smarter about where he was on the pitch and where he needed to sort of let off a shot or let off a cross, I feel that's the same thing that Elise needs to learn from. Now, I don't know what kind of plan the club will have for him or whatever manager will have for him going forward. But he's a top player in the making. And I feel like, similar to Eze, he just got found out today. He just got caught out a lot. Yeah. And I find that sometimes Elise does get a brunt of the hard task of he creates a lot of opportunities and chances, but then because he doesn't particularly have that striker in the box that can capitalize on that, it's wasted. And then it just kind of lets the statistics look pretty poor.
Yeah. Wilf, I can't lie. It's 6 from both of us. Emerson Royale had him. He had him today.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd say that because I was looking at that match. I'm thinking that's Will's, like, that is going to be Will's dinner tonight. He's going to be cooking him up, eating him. Nah, it just didn't work out like that. Look, he had that 1 or 2 moments. He beat his player, but apart from that, I'll be honest, Tottenham done a good job sending 2 players on him at times, and he never really entered that one-on-one moments. There were always normally 2 players there, so he couldn't do much. But yeah, I just didn't see enough of him other than an average performance.
All I'm going to say to any Palace fans watching is prepare yourselves, because when you go on Twitter, you're going to be seeing them dumb memes of Emerson coming home and emptying his pocket, with the keys and then the wallet, and then there's going to be a picture of Wilfried Zaha because he locked him out today, man. He literally kept him under wraps today, and I cannot believe I'm saying it, but I think he beat Emerson once, and then it didn't really go anywhere. That's when he sort of dummied him like 3-4 times and then kite in and then hit it on the left. But Emerson was still on him, so Emerson did a good job on him today. I think Tottenham defensively locked him out today. Wasn't a great game for Wilf. Plain and simple.
And it was also a great game for Jordan Ayew. 5 from both of us. I'll be honest, the biggest thing for Ayew over the recent times was his hold-up play and how good he is. But today, he didn't get the opportunity. Opportunity. And other than that, I think that probably didn't help us in our attack because, he normally holds up the play, gives it to Wilf, gives it to Elise. But, whenever he had the ball, it seemed like he just lost it. He just wasn't as strong on the ball today.
Yeah, this is one of them games where we're going to look back and be like, why did we give him a new contract? Oh, he's this, he's that. This is Jordan Ayew. He has 1 or 2 great games and then he'll have 1 or 2 not so great games. And this was just one of those days where he didn't have a great game. He wasn't a threat at all. To an extent, you wouldn't even know he was on the pitch if we didn't know what our layout of the team and stuff. Not a great day for Ayew either. I just wasn't impressed by anything he did today. I think he completely just got isolated from Tottenham. Poor game. Yeah. Maybe he needs to go back on the wing.
I was going to start with Hughes, but if you're talking about not knowing if they were on the pitch or not, Edward, moving on to the bench. 4 is a nice rating, in all honesty. Yeah, we could have gone much lower. Do you know how many touches he had in 12 minutes when we was chasing for a goal?
1? Yes. Was it not the one that he hit wide or whatever?
Yeah, just one. Just one touch in 12 minutes when we were chasing the goal. I mean, look, let me not. That's it. That's why I gave Edward a 4. And it's nice I gave him a 4. I could have given him much lower.
I remember a time on this exact channel where certain people were defending Edward, some people were defending Mateta. We'll not go into that, but neither of them are good, man. It's just hard watching. Like I said earlier on in the match reaction, make sure you go and watch that. Maybe he needs a manager that either believes in him or could create a system that works to be standard. But as far as I look at Edward in terms of what I see on the pitches, he just kind of comes across as a player that can't be bothered. Or he just looks like it's an inconvenience for him to show up. That's it.
Yeah, that's literally it. And moving on to Hughes, he came off the bench. 5 from you, 6 from me. I'll be honest, he didn't have a bad performance off the bench or a good one. He was just average.
Yeah, I mean, I love Will Hughes. I think he's a great player. I think he's quite underrated in terms of his what he brings to the team. And I think in the past, I guess the post Hodgson era, do we call that? He's really
to current Hodgson
era. Yeah, to current Hodgson era. There we go.
Exactly.
A era of Hodgson at some capacity.
Hodgson era version 2.
There we go. Hodgson 2.0, mate. Croydon never knew what was coming. The thing with Hughes is I've seen him come on for games and he's really just come on, done a lot of passing, getting stuck in, trying to create chances, trying to almost do everything in the whole midfield area defensively. Even sometimes I've seen him kind of do almost like a number 10 thing for us. I just didn't really get that out of him today. It looked like the whole gameplay was flat, so he couldn't really do anything. Even if he it would have been nice for him to maybe stick an attack or maybe lift the squad up when he came on, but I just didn't get that out of him. Another non-start for me.
I can't lie. It sums up our player ratings. It was just a boring performance or frustrating performance. However you want to put it. It hurts. It hurts. It's boring, but it's done. That's a positive. The most positive thing out of this game is that it's done. We don't have to go through that once again until next season. Hopefully next season, for their sake and for our sake, they have a bit of a progressive manager, so we can actually watch a decent, game of football. Because, geez, man, that was like watching Burnley after they went 1-0 up. But look, they won the game. And I wouldn't say fairly so, because I thought a draw would have been a fairer result because both sides just weren't at it today. But let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below for the player ratings. We didn't give a referee player rating, but if we did, probably be a 1. Just to let you know. And also, if you have enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And until next time, up the Palace.